5 years after a Bluff collapse killed 3 women in Encinitas, their family will be getting a $32 million settlement. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Anna Laurel.
And I'm Steve Price. Carlo and Marcella have the night off. In 2019, Pat Davis was at Grandview Beach. He was there with his wife, his daughter, and his sister-in-law when that bluff collapsed, killing all 3 women.
Tonight, we're talking with Davis and the attorney on this case. CBS 8's Jasmine Ramirez joins us live from the beach where this tragedy happened. Jasmine, I was on the air live when this happened 5 years ago. It was a shock to know the victims were all related. This still has to be so painful for this family.
Right. So the family, they were down on this beach when that deadly bluff collapse happened. Now they are getting $32 million, but they say for them, the most important part is really spreading awareness about beach safety. Now in 2019, Pat Davis was on Grandview Beach with his family, his wife, daughter, and his wife's sister. Now that's when the bluffs collapsed, killing the 3 women. Now the grieving family has now settled their lawsuit against the city of Encinitas, state of California, and the property owner where the collapse happened. Now Pat hopes the settlement will teach people about the hidden dangers of the bluffs. Their attorney says the tragedy could have been prevented. Now they say the non-monetary portion of the settlement was an agreement with the city of Encinitas to increase public safety. Now this includes a public safety campaign and training the lifeguards to warn beachgoers about keeping a safe distance from the bluffs. Tonight we talked to Pat about the loss of his family members and what he wants to see going forward.
Julie and Elizabeth, are greatly missed by my family. They were the glue that made our family so close. No settlement will ever replace the love that these women provided for us. And I would hate to see any other family have to go through what we've been through.
And again, his main message is just to spread awareness about beach safety, for everyone to know to not sit or get near the bluffs within about 40 feet. And he is just looking forward to what the city will do to help promote safety. Back to you.
All right, Jasmine, thank you. I really do remember their story when I'm out walking near those bluffs and stay away.
And we do see a lot of people sitting in the bluffs, not just up there, but all the way down the coast. And it's a good reminder to everybody, you need to be careful they are not stable.
It really is. Now to our other top story. The former Marine accused of murdering his girlfriend in a drunken rage was back in court today.
41-year-old Raymond McLeod vanished and fled the country after the death of Crystal Mitchell back in 2016, but he was caught in 2022 in El Salvador. Prosecutors say McLeod has a violent past, and today we heard from a friend of his ex-wife who we're not allowed to show her face, but you can hear from her. She said she witnessed McLeod abusing his ex-wife, Rachel. She said she once walked in on McLeod, strangling Rachel after she had expressed that she was afraid of her husband. And we do want to pass along a warning. What you're about to hear will be difficult.
I unlocked the door and he was on top of her. She was gurgling. Her lips were blue. She was no longer able to speak and was struggling to breathe.
The defense, meantime, argues McLeod favored, quote, aggressive sexual practices. This hearing is expected to last until tomorrow.
New tonight, the Los Angeles County District Attorney says he'll decide this week whether or not to recommend the Menendez brothers' release.
They are currently serving life sentences at Donovan State Prison, which is here in San Diego County. CBS 8's Shannon Handy spoke with a legal expert today about the case and what their chances are of getting out.
I spoke with a local defense attorney who has been following this case closely. She explained all the reasons she believes there's a very good chance the Menendez brothers will be released.
We have been looking at these cases for over a year.
Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon says the work his office has put into the Menendez case is now in overdrive, saying due to public interest, he will make a decision this week on whether he'll recommend upholding the brothers' life sentences, a new trial, or letting them go.
There's actually 2 different camps in my office. I have a group of people that are adamant that they should spend the rest of their life in prison and that they were not molested. I have other people in the office that believe actually that they probably were molested and that they deserve to have some relief.
Last week, the family of Lyle and Eric spoke out in their defense, saying after more than 30 years, it's time for their release.
Lyle and Eric have already paid a heavy price.
In 1989, the brothers, who were 18 and 21, shot their father and mother inside their Beverly Hills home. The brothers said they endured years of abuse. Relatives on both sides argued back then little was known about sexual abuse, and it wasn't considered during the second trial after the first one ended in a mistrial, adding if it had, the sentence would be much different.
In the first trial, Leslie Abrams and their defense lawyer did a wonderful job in letting that be known. But then in the second trial, the judge excluded everything about them being sexually abused by their father. Now there's new evidence supporting that claim.
That new evidence includes a letter Eric reportedly wrote to his cousin 8 months before the murders describing the abuse. A former member of the boy band Menudo said he too was raped by the Menendez's father, who worked in the music industry. Criminal defense attorney Gretchen Von Helm says on top of that, a new law called youthful offender works in their favor.
When defendants are younger than 25 at the time of the commission of the crime, there is now a new law, new legislation that allows those individuals to receive early parole.
For those reasons, in addition to the support the brothers have in their good behavior at Donovan State Prison, Von Helms believes Gascon will recommend their release. It could also be good PR for him as he's up for re-election.
If you were their attorney right now, where would your confidence lie?
My confidence would be very high.
Ultimately, a judge will make the final call, but even if Gascon recommends the brothers stay put, a judge can rule however he or she wants.
The judge looks at everything, and it's the judge that has the final decision.
Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
Definitely a case a lot of people are watching. Shannon, thank you. An update tonight on a deadly crash near the border. Customs and Border Protection say 2 people were involved in a pursuit on the 905 near Otay Mesa. Officials say the car crashed and 2 people inside died. Another person is in the hospital. The extent of their injuries still not known yet, and it's not clear if they were also in that vehicle. Officials say 1 Caltrans car was involved in the crash. California Highway Patrol is now investigating the incident.
We're getting a closer look at the demolition on the Oceanside Pier.
This after a fire destroyed the pier back in April. CBS 8's Regina Urita was in Oceanside today and explains what's happening out there.
Yeah, that's correct. And we have a crews out here starting the early stages of demolition. What they're doing right now is really taking the heavy portions of the old Ruby's diner. That is really what they're starting with. But these are steel plates that they are having to remove along with the burnt debris. It's an extremely difficult job that these workers have going on. They not only need to make sure to keep themselves safe, but also the public and, of course, the ocean and its marine life. Being very careful of not having any burnt debris or heavy material fall into the water. But as the process begins, other hazards are starting to pop out.
One of the problems we found out as we're setting up shoring, getting ready for our debris containment system, is we noticed that a lot of the underdecking, the things that are holding up the deck plating, are gone. So we had to take extra measures to shore that up to prevent any additional settlement of the building while we're taking it down.
That is City of Oceanside's engineer. One of the biggest concerns that they have is that when they start taking things down, that all the tension that's sitting there right now might collapse on itself and it could go to the bottom of the ocean. They certainly are trying to avoid that from happening. It's why they're still adding more containment to prevent that sort of issue. So crews are still installing protection underneath. Once that's done, they can go ahead and dismantle the buildings little by little, but it's going to take some time. The next several weeks are about cleaning up and removing the rest of the deck, and then that will help them reevaluate what else needs repairs. But we're surrounded by marine life here, like these dolphins that we captured earlier today. It's why crews are doing everything possible to protect them, including putting that additional containment to help them. So back out here, we have about 15 to 20 crews out here. They're going to be here from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The pier is still open at this time, so if you are a regular at the pier, definitely make sure to give workers some space as they are loading heavy material in and out of the pier. But process is starting to happen here in Oceanside. I'm Regina Urita, CBS 8.
Good. Good to see the work getting underway. Regina, thank you. Tributes are popping up tonight for baseball legend Fernando Valenzuela. This is the start of a new mural in Los Angeles. Specifically, you'll find it in the Boyle Heights neighborhood. Valenzuela died in Los Angeles last night at the age of 63. He leaves behind his wife, Linda, and their 4 children.
And Fernando Valenzuela pitched for the Dodgers, but he also pitched for the Angels and the Padres during his career.
CBS 8's Brian White takes us down a trip down memory lane to show us why he was so special to the Padres.
Fernando began his career in the Mexican Baseball League, and when he started with the Padres in 1995, fans used to come up from Mexico to watch him play. During that time, he sat down with CBS 8 in the dugout for an interview, and it's special.
Here's a 2-2 to Chipper. Got it. Great pitch by Fernando.
They couldn't score against him for more than 6 innings as Valenzuela shut out the Atlanta Braves in 1996. A few days later, he showed reporter Maria Velasquez his pitching magic.
Cut fastball is coming this way, dripping like that. Almost like a fastball, a straight fastball.
So this is your pitching hand?
Yes.
This is the most valuable arm here. Right?
He was described as quiet, modest. He loved to laugh, but what's remarkable is that he taught himself to speak English.
That's right.
No.
And still, you know, I'm learning a little bit, you know, about listening, watching TV, listening on the TV, talking with my teammates, you know. And,
so you've taught yourself how to speak English?
Well, I has to, you know.
18 years prior, he had signed with the Dodgers and moved around 4 times in his career, joining the Friar Faithful 1 year before this interview.
And I think one of the reason I'm still in baseball, you know, on the big leagues, is because I'm still like this game. I still have a lot of fun to play this game.
It was in Sonora, Mexico, where his baseball dreams began. He remembered as a teenager playing with his brothers.
I like to pitch, but they don't let me, you know.
Why?
Because they say it's too early for me to start pitching at that age. They say my arm wasn't ready, you know, strong enough to be available to throw on the ball.
And little did they know just how legendary their little brother would become. Brian White, CBS 8.
No.
I'll tell you, growing up as a little kid in LA, I remember Fernando Mania and how awesome he was for the community and so humble. Even his rookie year when he was amazing. He won Rookie of the Year and the Cy Young Award as a rookie, something no player had ever done before. And yet, so humble, nice guy. I mean, you saw in that Maria Velasquez interview.
In that interview, yeah, talking about his little brothers, and they're so proud of their little brother.
Just 63 years old.
Yeah,
so
it's
sad.
a shame.
All right. Still ahead, the effort to connect some 911 callers to licensed nurses. We have details on the East County program that's expanding to even more cities after a successful first year.
And the San Diego Humane Society has a problem. It has too many problems, too many puppies. Is that a problem? We're going to show you some of them coming up.
It's never a problem. All right, well, we've had daytime highs that have been above seasonal for the past few days, but by next week, they're taking a drop and also looking at a chance for some light showers. Details are ahead.